Any comment, Hussain sir?
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I would like to, of course, confirm, acknowledge what you're saying is absolutely correct. Because if anyone says, in today's world, if anyone says we are secure, we've made ourselves, we've put in place enough measures to make ourselves secure from these threats, I think we need to take it with a huge pinch of salt. I think pinch is not the right word. But taking this thing just a bit forward, you said where we have a lower level of automation, so are we secure? And I think that would be a fallacy. If we see the threats that are coming up today, look at the ransomware. Look, every organization allows its people to connect to the internet. They have external email, and those are the channels that are being targeted. And so you have attacks coming regardless of the level of automation. You have people who are not aware of these things, and they tend to, unfortunately, compromise the organization. So, yes, it is a difficult scenario. While we are moving forward, there is a lot of improvement from where we were in the past, but still there's a lot of work to be done.
A lot of work to be done. And since you are also the president of ISACA, Information System Audit and Control Association, can you please share what should be the right mix, right reporting lines? And if you could share, what is your reporting line within your organization, if it's not a secret, and is it actually has given the required results to the organization or not?
Right, thank you very much. I'm reporting, so I can share that. I'm reporting to the CEO.
All right.
And I think
CEO.
It's important to recognize that there are a few prerequisites. For whom the position reports to depends on the organization. It also depends very, very heavily on the caliber of that person. So if that person, when we say C-suite, excuse me, at the C level, certain characteristics are expected, certain qualities are expected. Where the person doesn't have that, and I think one more very, very important quality is to be able to act independently, take those decisions independently. Where that is not possible, then the person will have to report to a more junior level, to a parallel level, not to the CEO, because the CEO, like you rightly said, like On rightly said, will not have the time to give adequate amount of time. Again, the CISO needs to be able to speak the language of risk, of business. If he's a techie, if he's going to talk, present things in technical jargon, he will have lost the risk management, the CEO level, all of these people. So again, it's very, like I said, according to me, it's very important that it depends on the organization and on the person who's holding that position. And we should, as people in this information security management levels, we should endeavor to build up our appreciation, understanding of risk, and be able to rightly express things in the context of risk. Because every vulnerability is not at the same level of risk like another one. Having said that, what we also need to bear in mind that there are other governance structures in place. The IT steering committee has always been there, but its mandate, very heavily and rightly so, is IT-related projects. So ISACA has proposed that you have an IT security or information security steering committee, which is a parallel body which would provide that focus, it would provide the platform for security matters to be addressed, adequately addressed. And then, there you have the budgets coming in and the support coming in.
And do you see actually that has been implemented within Pakistan or not?
It is. Certain good quality institutions, especially, excuse me, with, where you find security being given the right due level of importance is in the financial services sector, in the telecoms, because that's where the level of risk is very high, a threat is very high. So for financial services, you'll find a few banks that have actually set up the Information Security, IT Security Steering Committee.
So those are the companies which feel the importance of IT security from here, not from here only.
Yes, and where they're conscious that, all right, at the IT Steering Committee level, maybe they will not be able to give enough airtime to the CISO. I'd just like to add that, that the position about being independent and being able to take decisions also requires the person to be able to work effectively with others. A special relationship needs to be developed and established. A relationship and understanding needs to be developed with IT. Because, that's your closest, I would say, confidant. You're struggling with the same things, having the same sort of issues to face, and have the same bosses to respond to. You have the same stakeholders to answer to. So you need to be able to work with IT, understand their pain points, and address it accordingly. And if that person manages to do that, then like Akbar said, doesn't matter where he reports, he will be successful in that.
Hussain Saab, do you have any take on this?
Bilkul, I agree with you. And we need to build in security from the design stage. You can't treat it as an add-on, not any longer, because then you are going to come and stand in between IT and the users. And that's going to be, in the way of a juggernaut, which will just roll over you. So you have to work with IT, with the developers, with the business teams, right from day one, when the idea is conceived, and embed security at that level. Now that's easier said than done, as you know. So what, in the background, things that need to happen are at the architecture level, at the foundation level. You need to build in minimum baseline security standards. You need to issue these things, share these with IT. Because from day one, I think we need to start believing that no IT professional and security people need to start talking about it, that no one from IT is coming to compromise their own solutions, their own offerings. So they will be interested in security. But you need to make it convenient for them. You can't just be waving the flag and saying there's no security. You have to say how it will be done and work with them in getting it done.
Thank you very much.
So, of course, that human firewall, extremely important. And I'll just add that in building that firewall, you need to think, and security needs to think in terms of staying ahead of the curve. You can't say, "Acha, aaj ka cloud computing par hum nahi ja rahe." So we will, when the organization goes ahead with cloud computing, that is when we will learn to secure it. You need to prepare. So there's a lot of R&D that needs to be done. A lot of development needs to be done. And remember the paradigm, the triangle: people, process, and technology. Sometimes we just go with technology, we forget the people. That's why we are where we are. And a lot of the time we forget the processes.
So 3 Ps.